G'day everyone, Rob Nastasi here, the younger and much better looking brother of Sam Nastasi, the Managing Director of Nastasi & Associates. Each year, as part of Work Health and Safety and the Work Health and Safety Act of 2011, workplaces and small businesses must put their staff through an induction program around mitigating risk to them and injury to them whilst they're in the workplace. So we need to provide information to them, we need to make sure they've been informed, and we need to make sure that they feel that their needs have been catered for around safety. So that's what this video is about. Normally we would give out a booklet and go through a bit of a lecture situation. In the next 2 or 3 minutes, I'm just going to give a snapshot of what are the key features of our WH&S procedures in our workplace, our various workplaces for that matter. Firstly, I need to talk to you about emergency procedures, and normally that would be where we had risk of things like fires or bomb threats or chemical threats or electrical issues in the workplace or our offices. We would need to leave those premises quickly. So normally what happens is the business manager or the office manager would make a call to the employees. It would be simply evacuate. That would be said twice. And at that point, our employees would leave the premises using the shortest route, and they do that in a calm and slow way to leave the premises and get out to the assembly checkpoint, which is normally the car parks situated outside of our offices in both New South Wales and Brisbane. The next thing that is important for you to know about would be to make sure that we avoid slips, trips and falls in the workplace. And to that end, we need to make sure that our workplaces are clear of any debris, of any obstructions, that the floors are clear, that we aren't leaving trip hazards around, that they're not wet, that our stairwells don't have things lying on them, that the treads are there, that there are handrails, and obviously that we're clear of obstructions that could cause us to fall over and do some awful damage to ourselves. Footwear is also very important, so we encourage our employees to wear the appropriate and correct footwear, and also we need to make sure that lighting's being used at all times, and particularly in those darker times of the day or during evenings, we need to make sure lights are on at all times. Should there be an issue with any lighting, we need to report that to the business manager or office manager on site. We also need to check in around electrical hazards, and that is, we don't overload power points. We need to make sure we turn power points off when they're not being used, that we don't use fittings that are not working properly, or power points that aren't working properly, or switches. We need to isolate those immediately and seek some professional attention around that using an electrician. And we need to do regular inspections of all our electrical equipment. We never use frayed cords, or we never tape up cords or extension leads, because they can be quite a risk to electrical shock. Normally the biggest issue there with an electrical shock is that we are attached to the current, and hence we get electrocuted as a result of that. Where we've got machinery or anything of that nature in our offices or equipment, again, we need to make sure that that machinery and equipment is safe, that it is up to date, that it is being maintained, that it's operated correctly. We know how to operate it. We've been inducted around operating it. And we know that it is working correctly. Should it not be, we need to obviously let, again, the business or office manager know to ensure that that is rectified as soon as possible. And then we also would need to consider manual handling in the workplace. So we encourage our employees never to lift things that are too heavy, and when they're lifting, to bend the knees, to always lift things closest to the body, not to twist at the hips. Should we have devices that will help in lifting and moving equipment, such as trolleys and that sort of thing, mechanical devices, well, we use them regularly to lift and move things, but certainly don't lift beyond what we need to. We also need to ensure that our own workstations are hazard-free, that we're not leaving debris and we're not leaving things unchecked or switched on, or food stuff there that could go off and potentially be a health hazard as well. So please make sure that our workstations are always clear and also free of anything that shouldn't be there. So to reiterate, WHS stands for Work Health and Safety. We're obligated to inform our employees around that because of the Work Health and Safety Act of 2011. And if we see anything in the workplace, we spot any hazards, we need to identify them, we need to ascertain the risk, and we need to inform our employer that there are some risks there. So let's look out for each other. Those areas that are of particular importance to us would be things such as the slips and the trips and the falls, and also the manual handling, keeping the workplace clean and hazard-free. So that's you, Burac. Don't leave any banana peels around the place like you normally do on the floor, because that is a major hazard and you're going to be called to task over it. Thanks for listening, everyone. There's a short quiz that goes with this, a 10 multiple choice quiz that I'll get you to also complete. Once you've completed that, you'll let me know. And that completes our Work Health and Safety induction as part of Safe Work New South Wales for 2023. Thanks everyone. Take care.